Welcome to Letting Go University. It's another live stream, Letting Go with the Course in Miracles workbook lessons as prompts for our releasing. If you'd like to learn more about letting go and releasing, there's the Sedona Method by Hale, Dwoskin, Lester Levinson's protege. We've also got this fantastic book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by Dr. David R Hawkins. Feel free to check these books out or join us at the link in the description, lettinggouniversity.com, where we have these sessions several times a day, every day. Today's lesson is letting go on what limits can I lay upon God's Son. Lesson 280. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? Only in illusion I can invent imprisonment for him, not in truth. So we've talked about if we imagine that we're a body, and there's all kinds of limits. And perhaps we're not a body, we are free. We're still as God created us. If you're familiar with some of these teachings of Buddhism or Hinduism, there's many bodies and a life continues on through them all. If you look at the world, there's many bodies, there's life continuing through them all. Life is, bodies are transitory. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? Notice the limits that seem to come up have to do with the body, and that it could be damaged or that it needs stuff, and that all of that is transitory. You get the money comes and goes. You get the health comes and goes. You get the relationship comes and goes. What goes on and on and on, regardless of the appearances of the transitory illusion? God. So let's look at some of the limits we've been putting on God, God's Son, and just let go. Lesson 280. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? Plenty of limits. What's the current trending limit today? Is it time, money, relationship, something to do with the body? What's the limit of the day? What does it seem to be? And there's probably plenty. Just taking one. And you might just take something that seems like the body needs. Seems like the body needs this. Seems like the Son of God pretending to be a body needs this. Can you notice how it feels to need, to seem to be in lack or limitation? Another word for need is desire or wanting. And those are just words because you notice this feeling that seems to be limiting the Son of God, you. And could you allow yourself to feel that feeling? Just opening up. The thoughts pop up, just coming right back to the feeling, no, but Sam, I really need this. The Son of God needs this. Yes, it does seem like that, doesn't it? Could you feel that feeling? Ignoring the thoughts, just feeling that feeling. Might be a sensation in the solar plexus area. Could you feel any feeling that's coming up for you? And just be experiencing it and surrendering it to God. Does God need something? Could you surrender this need, this want, this desire, whatever seems to be the limitation on God today, on God's Son? Would you surrender this feeling and claiming God's Son lacks something? When could you surrender any limitation placed upon God's Son today? Maybe God's got it. Maybe God's Son's got it. Maybe God's Son isn't limited. Maybe God isn't limited. Maybe. And believe that or not, what limits can I lay upon God's Son? Well, you ask the question, there's an answer. Well, there's this and that. What does it seem like God's Son needs today to be okay? It's the rent. Is it a special food preparation? Is it that person? And could you just notice anything that it seems like God's Son needs? Anything God needs today? And just notice that feeling without judging it or moralizing about it. Yes, it really does seem like that's needed, doesn't it? And how does that feel? Did you notice this feeling of desire or fear of not getting or lack? Some seeming energy of limitation upon God's Son. Could you welcome that feeling to be there? Fighting the feeling claims it has power over you. Could you just let that feeling up? Just welcome that feeling, ignoring the thoughts, just letting that feeling dissipate, dissolve, unravel. Could you welcome whatever seems to be happening feeling wise? And as you welcome it, just turning it over, could you surrender it to God? Maybe God's got it. Maybe God's Son is limitless. How about just surrendering? Would you surrender the seeming need, lack, fear, desire? Just turning it over to God. You never have to. Just could you surrender? Would you surrender this feeling and just lighten up and lighten? It's a lot of work to try and limit God's Son, to limit God, and work at it all the time. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? Well, I got a list here. Let's see. Yep, we need to make sure we've got food, money, and we've got to make sure people like us. And I need some control over this situation. And so, can you just notice anything on your list, any limitations God's Son might have today? Nothing wrong with money, control, food. Just noticing some sense that it's needed, or any fear of not getting it, or any sense of lack. And behind that list of limitations of God's Son, could you just notice that feeling? Whatever feeling's there, and could you even embrace it? Does love fight things? Or does love embrace things? Could you just embrace any feeling that's coming up for you? And what about just holding it gently, lighting it up, loving it up? Even if it doesn't feel fantastic, could you let it be just a feeling and love it anyway? Embrace it anyway? Hold it anyway? And could you just let it run? Stay with it. All the negative feelings are just ego survival programs claiming separation from God. Could you just love it up, embrace it, light it up, stay with that feeling, and just let it unravel? Could you let this ego survival program unravel? This limitation imagined on the Son of God dissolve? Does God got limitations or unlimitations? Would you allow any sense of limitation to dissolve, unravel? Just turning it over to God. Letting go of a feeling. You're not an ego, are you? You might have one. Could you just allow its feeling of limitation to dissolve, unravel? Or what limits seem to be are only invented in illusions, not in truth? No thought of God is limited at all. So your Father willed that you be limitless, which means you can choose and invent things in illusions that seem like limitations. Though God willed, like yourself, like Himself, you're limitless in freedom and in love. And can you notice any of the attempted denial of that? Can you notice any resistance to your complete freedom and love? Oh, there. Remember your list? You got your list? That's the resistance to your complete freedom and love. Did you notice how it feels? This illusion, this invention, not in truth, but seems like it. Could you just allow that resistance up? Feel that feeling. Really resist, like God, complete freedom and love. And would you rather have this resistance or complete freedom and love? Would you rather have the illusion or the truth? Could you allow yourself to release the resistance to freedom and love? Just releasing that feeling, letting it go. Would you let go, release the resistance to God's freedom and love as yours? When could you release the resistance? And experience what's here for you in truth, in reality, complete freedom and love. Just takes what it takes. Nothing to rush through, nothing to fight, just allowing any of this resistance to come up. These illusions that would say, you're not free. Love isn't here. Can you notice any resistance, any denial, rejection that you are free in love right now. Nothing to moralize about, nothing to judge, just ego survival programs claiming separation from God. Could you allow that up? Any thoughts that pop up, there's a feeling behind them. Could you notice that feeling? We'll just call it resistance to the freedom and love of God and His Son, you. Could you let that resistance be there? Maybe really resist. We've been doing it unconsciously for some time. Could you really consciously just bring up that resistance? Really resist how free you are, how much love you are. Really resist that. Feel that. Thoughts are going to pop up. Just come right back to the feeling. Really resist the love of God, the freedom of God. And that's a lot of work. Could you let it go? Just drop the resistance. Whew. Would you drop the resistance? Let it go. When could you give up resisting what you are, freedom and love? And the only seeming imprisonment of God's Son is in an illusion. Whom God created limitless is free. That's you. And could you simply acknowledge any resistance to your freedom and love as God created you? It's okay. There's usually plenty. What's on your list today of limitations? And just allowing any of that to come up. Nothing to fight. Just allowing the resistance, allowing that feeling of smallness, of weakness, of powerlessness. Whatever's coming up other than love and freedom, could you allow the resistance to love and freedom? Just feel it, let it come up. Could you experience that feeling? No, no freedom, no love. Only exists in the illusion. Could you let this illusion come up, this feeling come up, and just surrender it to God? Just turning it over. Would you surrender? Give up illusions that resisting God's love and freedom is possible. When could you surrender any resistance to the love of God, the freedom of God, as you were created? Hmm. And there could be plenty of resistance today, plenty of imagined limitations on God's Son. Remember, these only exist in illusions, not in truth. I can invent imprisonment for him, but only in a hologram, not in reality. So, the prayer of today: Father, I lay no limits on the Son you love and created limitless. Father, I lay no limits on the Son you love and you created limitless. Father, I lay no limits on the Son you love and you created limitless. Could you allow yourself to just release, let go, surrender any illusion of limitation, any attempt to limit God's Son? Just turn them over to Him today and watch the illusions dissolve. Well done releasing. Thank you so much for joining us, and have the best day you can.